inquiring into two alleged police stations that answer to the Chinese government in Quebec. So this is something that has been going on for 10 years. $200,000 were given by Beijing to a Trudeau foundation 10 years ago. And Trudeau has known about this for years. He's had a lot of time to look into this. So I would like a date, please. When will there be a register of foreign influence? The Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to foreign interference trying to harass or to monitor Canadians, that is completely unacceptable. The RCMP has stated that it is inquiring actively into those alleged police stations, and it will not hesitate to act again. Everyone should feel safe in this country, and we will take every measure necessary to protect Canadians from unacceptable actions by hostile authoritarian regimes. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
On what date will the Prime Minister bring in a foreign influence registry? This is something that his own top public servant has suggested, something he's discussed with the Australian Prime Minister, an idea that he's known about for years and could have consulted on all of that time. You have to register if you want to lobby on behalf of the food bank. But you don't have to register if you want to manipulate our democracy on behalf of a foreign dictatorship. That is the case after 8 years of this Prime Minister. 8 years is long enough. Enough talk. On what date will we have a foreign influence registry? The date.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Will take no lessons from a former minister of democratic institutions whose shining achievement was actually making it harder for Canadians to vote in the elections. Over the past 8 years, we have done more than any previous government to ensure that we have mechanisms and tools and ways to prevent counter foreign interference and reassure Canadians that everything is being done. And we will continue to do even more, including a foreign agent registry. We know how important it is to do everything to keep Canadians and our institutions safe.
Hear, hear.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
I asked a second time for the date for a foreign influence registry, and he refuses to answer the question. Another question is that his department prepared a briefing which said there was a large clandestine transfer of funds earmarked for the federal election from the People's Republic of China consulate in Toronto. Will the Prime Minister commit to return any of the funds that the Liberal Party, its local associations, his leadership campaign, or any Liberal nomination contestants received from the PRC? Yes or no?
Right Honourable Prime Minister. We have long known that politicians across political parties, across levels of government and around the world are targeted by foreign interference. This is a fact. Just yesterday, the 2023 annual threat assessment of the U.S. intelligence community spoke of China's, quote, willingness to meddle in select election races that involved perceived anti-China politicians. So this is not a threat that Canada faces alone. We continue to work with our partners around the world. But at the same time, let me be clear that any suggestion that any member on either side of this House is not loyal to their constituents but a foreign government is not only dangerous, it undermines our democracy.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The question was whether the Prime Minister would commit to the Liberal Party, his leadership campaign, or any other branches of his party returning any funds that they received from this large clandestine transfer. This information was in a briefing note that he received from his own department. He's known about this for months. So once again, will the Prime Minister commit to returning any money that his party or his leadership campaign or any other branch of the Liberal Party got from the PRC? Yes or no?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, despite the efforts of the Leader of the Opposition, Canadians know that foreign interference is not and should never be a partisan issue. That's why we'll be appointing an independent expert to identify any gaps in our system. They will make public recommendations, which could include a formal inquiry or some other independent review process, and we will abide by those recommendations. We also have 2 national security bodies that will undertake independent reviews of foreign interference in our elections, and we're also taking further immediate action to bolster our institutions, better coordinate government efforts to combat foreign interference, and more.
Hear, hear.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
So he won't commit to giving back any money that his party got from this large clandestine transfer. Instead, he delays, as he's been doing. He's known about this for 7 years, and now he's got these processes that have no time frame. They could go on for years without us getting answers or action. He knowingly allowed this to go ahead in 2 successive elections, and now he's delaying. What's to stop it from happening again in the next election if we don't get answers before that election happens?
Honourable Prime Minister.
It's a bit rich for the former Minister of Democratic Institutions who did nothing to counter foreign interference when he was in charge of our elections. All he did was make it harder for marginalized Canadians to vote in those elections. What we actually did starting 8 years ago was bring in a plan to protect democracy, which includes notifying Canadians in the event our ability to have a free and fair elections is threatened by including on a panel of senior public servants informed by national security agencies and reviewed after every election. That's where Canadians can have confidence in our institutions and in our elections. We brought in rapid response mechanisms, digital citizen initiatives, and a SICOP and other institutions.